What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here in the studio post Glastonbury. Very much had a great time out there. Thank you to everyone that came up to us as well. All the come on you Spurses as we were walking past. A lot of Spurs fans were out there, so it was very much a good time had by all. Let's just leave it at that. So let's get into some Spurs news, and starting off with Ange Postecoglou's backroom staff has been officially confirmed by Tottenham Hotspur. Chris Davis, Mal Jedinak, Rob Birch, Ryan Mason and Matt Wells will be the backroom staff. Welcome back to White Hart Lane for Rob Birch. He was a substitute or maybe a third choice goalkeeper at some stage, maybe fourth choice. But the statement on the website says that following the appointment of Ange Postecoglou as our head coach, we can now confirm the team of the coaching staff. We are delighted to welcome Chris Davis and Mal Jedinak to the club, and Rob Birch back to the club to join up with Ryan Mason and Matt Wells. Chris, who has previously worked on the coaching staff at Swansea, Liverpool, Celtic, Leicester City, joins as our senior assistant coach. Ryan Mason has been appointed assistant coach along with our former academy player and coach Matt Wells, who worked alongside Ryan during his spell in interim charge at the end of last season. Mile, who is a former captain of the Australian national team under Ange, also joins the coaching staff as assistant coach following a spell as a youth coach and a loan development coach at Aston Villa. He previously played in the Premier League for both Villa and Crystal Palace. A product of our youth setup and former goalkeeper with us in the early 2000s, Rob returns to the club as first team goalkeeping coach, having previously served as academy goalkeeping coach until 2019. He has since held coaching roles with the Football Association, Fulham, Bournemouth and Club Brugge. So that is our new coaching staff.
Yeah, it's nice to see Rob Birch back in the building.
Yeah, lovely to see him back.
Yeah, I wonder what brought that about, because if he's left and now he's come back, so maybe we believe that maybe it was a mistake to let him go, or maybe Ange knows something about him and thinks he'll be a good idea to bring him back.
I would not be able to tell you.
Yeah, interesting that he's left in 2019. Now he's back. So, but welcome back to Rob Birch. Glad to see him back. Good to see Mason part of the coaching staff as well, and Mile Jedinak, which. I remember him well at Crystal Palace. He was a very good penalty taker, very good central midfielder. He was a leader, yeah. So I don't know how his coaching career. I don't know if it's his first coaching gig potentially. I don't know if he's been a coach beforehand.
It says he was a development coach at Aston Villa.
Development coach, yeah, because I think he played at Aston Villa as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be as well. I'm sure he'll be a good voice around the training ground as well. Has been played under Ange as well, so they probably have a good relationship.
Ange's captain, yeah.
So. Looking forward to it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get his first choice. It seems he wanted to bring a lot of the staff from Celtic, and since Brendan has gone back there, it seems as though they're all staying. So, look, that's a bit of a disappointment, but I'm sure this coaching staff will serve him well. I can't say too much about their coaching abilities or what, because apart from Mason, I don't really know too much about how good the coaches they are, but I know a few of their names, so that's all right.
Let's move on and let's talk about some players specifically. Big news coming out of the rumour mills today, or not even just the rumour mills, but people like Fabrizio Romano and Charlie Eccleshare. And the first person that we're going to start with is James Maddison, as Eccleshare says Tottenham are closing in on James Maddison deal. An agreement could be reached this week. Romano just confirming what Paul O'Keefe said yesterday, saying that Tottenham have agreed personal terms with James Maddison as negotiations with Leicester are finally advancing. Talks are underway, and Spurs chairman Daniel Levy is very active on this deal, trying to get it done as soon as possible. And Ben Jacobs says that Tottenham are hoping to strike a deal with Leicester for James Maddison as early as this week. Wow. So this one's moving really fast.
Yeah, and it's very exciting. We all know how big of fans of James Maddison we are. I think he would be perfect for our team. And if we can get him for a decent deal, 40 million plus add-ons, or maybe 45, I don't think that's a ridiculous fee as well for a player of his ability. And hopefully, if he comes to Tottenham, being around potentially better players than he was at Leicester, maybe he can take his game onto a new level. Maybe he can see himself get more starts for England as well. I think it's a fantastic deal for Tottenham. I think it'll be really exciting. But obviously, we'll talk about it later about what that means for other players, but I think that Maddison, with his ability in the final third, the only question mark, I guess, is his ability off the ball, whether he would be able to match the intensity that Andrew would be asking for him off the ball, because I think maybe at Leicester he wasn't asked to do as much off the ball as maybe he would be at Spurs and under Ange. That's, I guess, the only potential downside. But maybe Ange can get him to do that dirty work. If you look at his data, comparing him to other attacking mids, he doesn't perform too well when it comes to like tackles, interceptions I've seen compared to other midfielders. But maybe that's just a case of Leicester's structure was not great over the last year, and maybe that can be better at Spurs, and maybe that's something we can see improve.
Yeah, the thing is with Maddison, maybe he doesn't match up well for those metrics, but he does like to put his foot in and likes to make challenges. And he makes quite a lot of fouls, in various different games throughout the season, last year specifically. And Ange Postecoglou has said that Maddison has been one of his main targets, or that's what we're led to believe anyway. So if he wants Maddison as one of his main targets, he obviously sees something in there that he could really fit his system. So I'm all for this deal. I can't wait for us to actually get this deal done, and I think he's going to be a really good asset for us. And when you're talking about creativity, that's what we've been lacking a little bit over the last couple of years, so since Eriksen has left anyway, and I think he's going to bring that for us, that's for sure.
Do you think a move for Maddison, if he definitely comes in, does that mean that that Ange would definitely see Kulusevski as a wide player then, do you reckon?
I don't think definitely. I think it will give us different options, fluidity. It will give us. I don't think Maddison has to play every game. Doesn't think Kulusevski has to play every game. I think you want to keep the squad fresh all the time. And we've kind of in the past said, why is Kane playing every single game? Why is Højbjerg playing every single game? And we've got players like Maddison and Kulu now that are both versatile players that can play in either position. Obviously, I'd prefer Maddison more inside than out wide, but at the end of the day, they're both versatile players and they can both play on either out wide or in the middle. So I think they can both share that role, really.
It'd be interesting to see what he fits in, because we all know that Ange loves his wide players to be really good dribblers, and we have a lot of good dribblers, but no amazing dribblers, which is a bit of a problem. So if he sees Kulusevski as a wide player, what he does in terms of signing wide players, whether he signs someone who's probably on the right or the left, is going to be interesting to see. But I'm super excited about the prospect of maybe of Maddison linking up with our forward players and really adding that extra edge that I think we've been missing from midfield since Eriksen left. And I think he would, in terms of a player who can do what Eriksen can do, I think he's obviously the closest we've come since he left, for sure, by a country mile.
Yeah.
And we've really missed that ability from midfield for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And that's going to be great to add that back in.
Absolutely. So Maddison, Spurs are closing in on James Maddison. Let's move on and let's talk about Harry Kane now, as David Ornstein broke this morning that Bayern Munich have today submitted an official proposal to sign Harry Kane from Tottenham Hotspur. Bayern written offer to Tottenham for the 29-year-old striker worth €70 million plus add-ons. England captain has 1 year left on his existing deal with Tottenham. Romano confirmed that, saying Bayern have submitted an official bid for Harry Kane. Fixed fee close to 70 million plus add-ons. Not enough to convince Tottenham, and it was rejected. Spurs won't accept that kind of fee for Harry Kane. O'Keefe says that Bayern Munich's offer for Harry Kane will be rejected out of hand today by Tottenham Hotspur. Charlie Eccleshare says that big news from David. He was just confirming that, and he says it will be rejected. As with 2021, it all comes down to whether a team is prepared to pay what Spurs are asking for. Ali Gold says that Spurs still making it very clear that they will immediately reject a bid for Harry Kane should they receive one. Florian Plettenberg saying it's correct. Bayern have submitted a first official offer for Harry Kane, first called by David Ornstein. Then he goes on to say, understand the offer was for less than €70 million plus bonus payments, rejected by Tottenham. As reported, Kane is a top striker target for Bayern Munich now, and Kane has made it clear that he wants to join Bayern Munich. Matt Law says that England players last week were left with the impression that Kane believes his time to leave Tottenham is the right time now, and he wants to try and win silverware. And he also says sources believe Tottenham may be forced to cash in on Kane if they receive an offer of 80 million plus add-ons from a foreign club.
Yeah, and to be fair, I was saying how if Madrid was serious about going in for him, I wouldn't be surprised if Kane would be interested in going there despite that Premier League record. And I said if it was Bayern that I didn't think he would be as interested, but maybe the thought of going abroad with Madrid has maybe made him think that actually going to someone like Bayern, where he has a serious opportunity, obviously of winning the league, but obviously he's always going to be the Champions League, and there is, albeit he wouldn't be favourites, there is an opportunity in that competition as well. Maybe he's thought, well, I'm more likely to win something big at Bayern, obviously, than at Spurs, and I'm going to be probably winning the league every year. I'm going to be scored bucket loads of goals. You saw how many goals Lewandowski was getting year in, year out at Bayern Munich, and maybe he's thinking, I'm better off going there and going for big money rather than staying for Tottenham for another year and not potentially wasting, but having another year not winning trophies. Essentially, I am surprised by the news that I don't think Bayern would bid if there wasn't any indication that he would be open to a move. So it sounds like he definitely is open to a move to Bayern Munich, which does surprise me a bit because I would have thought he wouldn't be interested in going there. But I think Tottenham themselves, if Bayern stump up the cash, would be willing to deal with Bayern. So I do think it's all about, if Bayern match the money and then Kane actually is interested in going, this maybe is something that can actually happen, which would be surprising at the beginning of the window if it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, it would indicate that they have spoken to the player side. We heard yesterday from Florian Plettenberg and other sources that Bayern Munich have spoken and had positive contacts with Kane's camp. It does surprise me massively that he's open to going there, to be honest. It's just a case of, will Bayern stump up the cash? And I don't know if they will, but I kind of feel like that I want them to now. And I think it's best for all parties, maybe not for Kane, but it's best for Tottenham and best for Bayern Munich if he does go right now, to be honest, because we get money in, as opposed to if he goes in a year's time, he could very much easily go to an English club for a free transfer, and that's not what anyone wants. So I think if he goes to Bayern Munich now, it's the best solution for us, in my opinion.
It's interesting when it comes to Bayern, because they're not actually a team that spends big money usually. I don't know what their record transfer is, but I don't know. I don't think
they spent big on Mane last summer. Was it like 60, 70 million?
It
was only 30.
Yeah, because you had a year left in his contract. They didn't spend actually that much on him. They got Lewandowski on a free. They're actually very used to bagging players like Götze. They got him on a free as well, I believe. Like, they're very used to getting players on free, like big players on a free transfer. So for them to spend big money on a player, it's quite rare for them, I think.
80 million euros on Matthias de Ligt.
80 million, okay. Oh, from Juventus, they get them from Juve.
Yeah.
So, but it's not often they do. It's not often they spend big money. So whether they're going to be willing to, for a player who's got a year left on his contract, whether they're going to be willing to go to what it says here, £80 million plus add-ons.
Sorry, it was
interesting.
It was actually Luca Hernandez of Atletico Madrid was £72 million. So whatever that is in euros, 85 million or something.
Okay, so they've done it a few times, but never for a player with a year left on his contract, I don't believe.
I don't know. It doesn't tell me their contract lengths, but Leroy Sané was a big drop off. That was like 40 million.
I just think Bayern. I think it's a big if they're going to stump up that cash, in my opinion, because I think they'll see a player with a year left in his contract who's 30 years of age. Are they really going to spend 80 million plus add-ons? Albeit 70 million plus add-ons is not too far away.
But that's euros though, so you're talking about like 65 million pounds, which is probably very far away from what Tottenham want.
Yeah, so it's an extra 15 million up front with plus add-ons as well. So I'm guessing Tottenham are looking for like 20 million in add-ons as well. They want to get this to 100 million. I'm guessing that's what Levy's after.
We'll probably say Champions League win 10 million, top goal scorer in the Bundesliga another 10 million, like they'll probably want easy add-ons as well, Spurs. So I mean, I think Spurs should be open to listening to offers for Bayern Munich just because of what I said before. It's like,
I think they are open.
But I don't think they should be like, it's our price or nothing. They should be open to listening to the offers that come in. And if Bayern are willing to walk away, I think this is the best opportunity for Daniel Levy and for Tottenham to not let Kane go somewhere in England.
Yeah, and I think Spurs are willing to do a deal with the foreign team. I really do. But it's whether... But I still think they want the price that they're not going to accept anything less than what Levy wants. We all know that. That's
what I'm saying, but I think they should, because I think 100 million is a bit over the top and excessive. I think they should be listening to 80 million pounds plus add-ons. I think is a fair deal for all parties.
Yeah, that's what it says that they want.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they actually do listen to it if it comes in, because I can very much see Daniel Levy being like, if that offer comes in, just trying to get more and more and more.
He's not going to want to sell, but it's going to be a reluctant sell. But at the end of the day, we don't want Kane to go to our English team, and this is the best chance. If he's actually willing to go to Bayern Munich as well, maybe there actually is a serious opportunity that this happens, which again, at the beginning of the window, I would have said no chance he goes to Bayern, but it looks as though there actually is a realistic opportunity for happening. It's still part of me a big part of me does want it to happen, just because it'll be so hard to see Kane leave. But at the end of the day, this is a mess of Tottenham's own making, and this is the consequence of it.
Look, if he doesn't want to sign a contract, it's the best thing to do is sell him right now, and that's just the fact of the matter, in my opinion. Next up, let's talk about Harry Winks. Fabrizio Romano says Leicester are set to move for Harry Winks. Jay Percy from The Telegraph says that Leicester are set to move for Winks, and negotiations are understood to be underway over a potential deal, and the Winks deal is unconnected to the Maddison deal. But it won't, I tell you, it won't, it will help, that's for sure, getting Winks to Leicester.
I hope so. I don't expect Spurs to be demanding big fees, between 5 and 10 million, something like that. I think for Harry Winks is probably fair, and if we can get him out the door, I think it's a good move for him as well, actually. I know it's stepping down, but you go to a pretty good sized team in Leicester. Apparently their new manager as well likes to play good possession football.
Who is their manager?
Mercado, I think his name is. I can't remember. Something like that. Anyway, I looked into it. Apparently he likes to play possession-based football, which is going to suit Winks to a T, especially in the Championship, where you think you'd be a good level for him in terms of like impressing. He's proved his fitness, and if he can stay for over a whole season at Leicester and then get back to the Premier League, then he's set himself up in a good situation. So I think it's a good move for everyone, actually. I actually don't think it's going to be a bad signing for Leicester if they sign him under that kind of manager. I think it'll be a good move for Winks, and obviously a good move for Tottenham. Yeah,
and I think it's a good opportunity for Winks to kickstart his career again in England, a team where you probably expect them to come back into the Premier League after 1 year in the Championship with... Even if they do sell players like Maddison and Barnes, I think I still expect them to come back up. Is the manager that they got the assistant from Man City? Is that who it is?
I think I'm not 100% sure. I just remember reading that he really likes to play possession-based football.
Oh yeah, look, it'll be a good move for him regardless. So I think that is our Tottenham update for today. Big news coming out for James Maddison, Harry Kane and Harry Winks, all from very reliable sources. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.